I guess you're following this closely. Is your audience not fascinated?
Oh, the audience is fascinated. The media love it, and the television loves it. But that's not really the point, is it? I think it's what it's all about. I mean, they've come over to Australia. It's very show busy. The media are having a ball. The newspapers are selling. They're talking about it being a private visit, but it's not a private visit. They've got 17 staff with them. And the problem will be is when there's a 45,000 number petition, I think, a 45,000 number petition about them not coming, and you've got the monarchist league saying if they even hint at a republic or say anything slightly wrong, they're going to be writing to the king to have them stripped of their titles.
They're
It's very
not going to
controversial.
do that, though, are they? I mean, you sort of...
No, they're too busy cashing in, Rachel.
Well, they're visiting a lot of charities and they're also making some money. And listen, they're private citizens. And if people want to pay money to go and see them, who cares?
It's a realm. It's a realm. It doesn't matter if it's a realm because the king is muddying the waters. The king is the king of Australia. His brother that he gets on so well with is going to be the king of Australia. But this muddies the waters. There's no question about it. It does.
In what way? I don't get it.
Well, they had a referendum not that long ago on The Voice. You know all about that, and that sort of stopped them putting the referendum forward for the monarchy. And we had a referendum not that long ago, actually quite a long while ago, actually. I was there, so it shows how old I am. But that was pretty close, and the Queen and the monarchy won through. This sort of thing does muddy the waters because you've got a lot of people talking about why are we paying New South Wales paying for police for this to happen? If they're private citizens, why are we paying?
Well, they say they have paid for their own security, actually, don't they?
Well, they haven't. They haven't paid for the 17 bouncers, Rachel. They haven't paid for all the backup and the people that drive in the blue. That's nonsense. That is just nonsense.
But as you yourself said, like loads of people.
Well, you heard it. Right, Brian?
Yeah,
you heard
I heard everything.
That is Robert Jobson complaining and just giving complaints about this Australian tour. Before I ask some questions, how do you feel generally about that audio?
You know, Robert Jobson is someone who is more close to Charles, even than Prince William. He is someone who confessed that also Prince William and his people are the ones who are leaking negative stories about Harry and Meghan to the press, and how they, UK media, were enjoying seeing that happening. And now he's seeing that despite all of the lies that they've told about Harry and Meghan, they're seeing that, Australia for Harry and Meghan is a success. Of course, there are tantrums. That's what we are seeing, Winnie. Tantrums, which is not really surprising, but honestly, it shows you really that clearly everything is going well for Harry and Meghan, that Robert Jobson is complaining, and I'm not surprised. Are you surprised?
No, I'm not surprised. I am not surprised. And this is day 2 of the Australian tour, Meghan and Harry. And I feel it's going to be a success and it's going to be amazing.
Me too.
Pardon my manners, I have not welcomed my amazing guest.
Thank you so much.
Brian, welcome again to this amazing channel.
Thank you so much.
We go on with the questions. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. So we have heard from the audio. Robert was on BBC 5 Live discussing Harry and Meghan's Australian visit. He admits that the audience is fascinated. He has not denied the claims that the audience is fascinated. But he's heard complaining about Harry and Meghan's visit. So why is he complaining?
Why is he complaining? Because it's his job to complain. Because he's paid to complain. Because he makes money from complaining. That's why he's complaining. And with Robert Jobson, he's someone who I feel like, majority of the carnival of so-called experts, they themselves are right now admitting that Harry and Meghan's visit to Australia is a success. Many of them, Robert Jobson, Victoria Ward, all of them. And even we'll discuss Victoria Ward also on our next video, in our next joint segment. But today we'll focus on Robert. So Robert is someone who himself has admitted that the audience is fascinated by Harry and Meghan. He even has had to admit himself that papers, they're selling papers in Australia right now. They're selling so much papers of making money off of Harry and Meghan. And the real thing is, if you're making money off of Harry and Meghan, then surely why are you complaining about Harry and Meghan making money themselves? So with Robert Jobson, he's someone who is always complaining about Harry and Meghan because I believe he's seeing the success of Harry and Meghan's visit, and he feels jealous. He feels much envy because they also, as members of the Royal Rota, haven't been invited to come and follow Harry and Meghan in Australia. And that's why you see how angry most of this carnival of so-called experts truly are, because they aren't welcomed to follow Harry and Meghan in Australia. So that's why they're so pissed. Yeah.
And one thing let me just say a bit about Robert. He has not denied the allegations, or he has not denied the fact that the audience is excited and the audience is fascinated
by Harry and Meghan.
Exactly. So this claims true, like
everyone just knows, it's just public knowledge that Harry and Meghan's visit to Australia is a success. It's going well, and may it continue to go well. When we hear complaints, I'm sure we'll hear complaints from the UK media, they didn't just online, but it just shows you one thing: Harry and Meghan are winning. Harry and Meghan are winning. They've already won, actually. They've already won. And that's why you see the haters who basically were promised that Harry and Meghan would fail, are right now even more and more angry at seeing the love Harry and Meghan are receiving in Australia from millions and millions and millions of Australians. And I thank all Australians for coming out to support Harry and Meghan. Robert Jobson, zip it.
Drink some water.
Yeah.
So still in the audio, Robert says it is not a private visit because he claims Harry and Meghan have 17 staff members with them. So what is the issue with that? Or why is he claiming it's not a private visit?
My family, what more can I say, Winnie? When it's UK media, they observe every move Harry and Meghan make. They observe, even if it's staff members, they're like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm a fan of Harry and Meghan. I've not even done that. I've not even done that. And I'm a fan of Harry and Meghan. I've not, basically, pinpointed just who is who. Is Harry and Meghan staff. I've not done that. But a hater is doing that. Which shows that even a hater, watches more of Harry and Meghan than even fans of Harry and Meghan, as I would say honestly. And, Robert Jobson, you are not a member of Harry and Meghan's private staff. If Harry and Meghan came over with their private staff, then so be it. They're the ones it's Harry and Meghan who are paying for them. It's Harry and Meghan who are funding them. It's Harry and Meghan who have the resources, right, to fund their private staff, right?
True.
I feel like with Robert Jobson, why he's complaining because he, as a member of the Royal Rota, if Harry and Meghan were back in the Royal fold, Harry and Meghan right now would be practically on the same plane as people like Robert Jobson if they were going on a tour to Australia. But right now, that isn't happening. When Harry and Meghan board a plane, they're going there, themselves with their staff members only, not accompanied by reporters like Robert Jobson. And that's why Robert is so bitter. That's why he's so angry. That's why he's saying, oh, this is not a private visit. The thing is, with Robert Jobson, first of all, you need to understand one thing. He's someone who is not welcomed into Harry and Meghan's circle. And many of the so-called royal experts, one of their main complaints is that they haven't been welcomed into Harry and Meghan's circle. No wonder you see them, getting more angry because they haven't been invited to enter, or be in Harry and Meghan's space. No wonder you see this kind of, tantrums that they are throwing because they aren't welcomed into Harry and Meghan's circle. The thing is, that's not Harry and Meghan's fault. Harry and Meghan have a right to decide just who is who they want to be around them, who they want to follow them, on their visits. And if they want to bring some staff members, then so be it. It's a private visit.
Exactly.
Robert Jobson. And the thing is, if you want to know why it's private, Robert Jobson, you have not been invited. That's why it's private. If you are, and still the third thing is, even though he hasn't been invited, he's still complaining. He's still complaining. Even though he hasn't been invited, he's complaining. Yeah.
And so let me even ask you a private question. If you were doing an international tour, would 17 staff members be a small number?
Be a small number for
like
for you.
if you yourself you're going for an international tour, because I think the moment he had time to actually count staff members was 17, and then now he started complaining about these staff members are so many.
First of all, you must understand one thing. Whether it's 17, whether it's 20, the fact is taxpayers aren't paying for them. Harry and Meghan are. Harry and Meghan are not the only powerful celebrities in the world who have 10 or 20 staff members. I'm sure even they have more than that. Because Harry and Meghan are building an empire for themselves. So of course, if you're building an empire, you love to have people who are helping you run your empire. So for that to happen, you need people you can trust. Harry and Meghan don't trust Robert Jobson, so they won't be in Harry and Meghan circle. So he won't be in Harry and Meghan circle. Harry and Meghan, I always pray and hope that they have people around them who they can count on, who they trust, who have the best kind of intentions towards towards Harry and Meghan, as you have said. The fact is, liars like Robert Jobson are just pissed off because Harry and Meghan are doing all of this visit of Australia. They are on every single headline, every single basically I've heard that in Australia media outlets right now are reporting basically every single appearance by Harry and Meghan. They're all covering it. Every single media outlet in Australia. So Harry and Meghan are doing the things that the farm, meaning Charles and William, did not want them to do. They never wanted to see Harry and Meghan, dominate the headlines. They never wanted to see that. They wanted to see Harry and Meghan's, star power dim. Instead, it's shining brighter and brighter with each and every single passing day. And that's why you're seeing this jealousy. Because also, I remember that when Harry and Meghan stepped back as senior members of the royal family, I recall Wikimedia and even Scotiers are saying that Harry and Meghan, you won't be able to meet ministers or foreign leaders ever again. It's never going to happen ever again. And what are we seeing? We are seeing Prince Harry, wherever he's going, he's meeting ministers, meeting top government officials. We're seeing that Harry's power is immense. Even despite having no support from the farm, Harry's power is so immense. And no wonder you're seeing that basically showing, he and Meghan are showing, oh, listen, we don't really need the firm. We can do all this without them. Because they feel left out, people like Robert Jobson also, who believe also that they're part of the firm because of the deal that UK media have with the royal family, they feel left out. And that's why he's throwing all this, tantrums.
All right. Also from the audio, Robert says that there is a petition from 45,000 people against Harry and Meghan's visit, and if that is and if there are any issues, they will write up to the king to strip them of their titles. Why is he saying that?
When good things are happening to Harry and Meghan in their lives, when they're doing well, that's when you see the most noise. When Harry and Meghan are doing well in life, that's when you'll hear and you'll see the most kind of noise, being heard. Because there are people who are upset at seeing that Harry and Meghan are doing well, excelling outside of the institution, and they're showing that, oh, you know what, we really don't need these individuals, back in the farm. We don't need them. We can do everything that we are doing even right now without, the farm. And that tends to make some individuals extremely jealous. That knowledge that Harry and Meghan are doing what they want to do, without their help, without their support, is making these individuals feel even more and more jealous than they already feel, right now. And to Harry and Meghan, it's like a message being sent. Harry and Meghan, keep on moving forward. Don't let any naysayers, issue any threat to you, because this stuff of we'll take away your titles, these are more like threats. And threats which, honestly, even if it happens, do you think that UK media will leave Harry and Meghan alone?
No.
They won't. They just want to punish Harry and Meghan because they fled the UK, and that's why they're always coming up with these threats. Harry and Meghan will strip you of your titles. If things were not going well for Harry and Meghan, they'd be happy. They'd be overjoyed. But because things are going well for Harry and Meghan, they're like, Harry and Meghan, I'm going to punish you. I'm going to punish you. I'm going to punish you. That's like like what they are trying to say to Prince Harry and Meghan, that listen, because you're doing so well, we're gonna do this to you. We're gonna do this to you. If things were going bad for Harry and Meghan, you would never hear Robert Jobson saying the things that he's saying here, because also he speaks about a petition from 45,000 people saying that, somehow Harry and Meghan aren't welcome in Australia. There are millions of people in Australia who have not signed that fake petition created by the Rangers, all because they can't stand seeing Harry and Meghan doing the things that William and Kate cannot do. There are millions of Australians who are showing up to support Harry and Meghan and to cheer them. So I understand it's frustrating for some people like Robert to see it. That even after Harry and Meghan step back as senior members of the royal family, they aren't begging or suffering like how the farm and UK media want to see from Harry and Meghan. They want to see Harry and Meghan, suffering. They want to see Harry and Meghan, failing. But that is not what they're seeing. They're seeing them succeeding. They're seeing them excelling. They're seeing people wanting to be around Harry and Meghan. And it's making them very, very jealous to see that there's an army of people who are eager, basically supporting Harry and Meghan, who are showing Harry and Meghan love, who are telling Harry and Meghan, look, we know what you've been through, we are with you, we stand with you. They are basically contradicting those fake polls that are being pushed by the PR arm of the royal family, UK media and some other media outlets. And this propaganda is failing because the Harry and Meghan, people love them right here in the heart, where of course, it matters. They have Harry and Meghan right here, and they know that if you want, a royal who is honest, if you want royals who are faithful, if you want royals who are truthful, it's Harry and Meghan, not the other ones back in the UK. And no wonder Robert Jobson is so pissed and saying, Harry and Meghan, we're going to take away your titles. Yes, you'd love that, won't you, Robert? But even if you get that, you still won't be happy. Because also, Winnie, I've always said that when Harry and Meghan were back in the UK media said, Harry and Meghan, if you stop earning taxpayer money, we'll leave you alone. Harry and Meghan don't earn taxpayer money. Have UK media left them alone? No. The answer is no. Then they said, Harry and Meghan, if you leave the UK, we'll leave you alone. Harry and Meghan left. Have they left Harry and Meghan alone? Now it's Harry and Meghan, if we'll take away your titles and then we'll leave you alone. Do you think they will leave them alone? They won't leave them alone. So one thing is very, very clear. Harry and Meghan must not trust these liars.
And what I feel in my heart is that these things are just coming out so that they can act as a distraction.
Yeah.
Because day 1 was a success.
Yeah.
Day 2 has been a success. Day 3 will be a success. Till the last day it will be a success. And so I think these complaints and all these tantrums are just acting as a distraction. And they're also jealous.
They're jealous. They're jealous of the success of Harry and Meghan's visit. Very, very jealous. That's very, very obvious.
Yeah. So still on the audio, Robert accuses Harry and Meghan of cashing in and making money on their Australian tour. What is the issue with that?
The issue with Harry and Meghan making money. UK media promised their readers and viewers that Harry and Meghan will go broke, they'll run out of money, and then they'll come back to the UK begging for money from Buckingham Palace or from King Charles. They still want to see Harry and Meghan begging money from King Charles. And the fact that it's not happening, and they're seeing Harry and Meghan, of course, making money, earning their own living, paying their own bills. UK media complain. It's like they want to paint this idea or etch this into the minds of people that somehow it's wrong for Harry and Meghan to earn a living. But the thing is, that's not the case. If you're someone with common sense, you know that Harry and Meghan, because they don't earn taxpayer money, thank goodness, they are able to, they have every right in the world to earn their own living, pay because they do have bills to pay, and they also have staff to pay, so who's going to pay them? So if they don't work, who's going to pay them? So you see, they don't want Harry and Meghan to earn money, because they know that the more money Harry and Meghan make, the more money that Harry and Meghan earn, the more that the firm and UK media will be unable to control Harry and Meghan. And may they never ever control Harry and Meghan. I don't want to see the firm or UK media having any kind of control, any kind of say, or any kind of power over Harry and Meghan. I really don't want to see that one bit. I just don't want to see that. May they never have any power or any control over Harry and Meghan.
And the fact that this will be a chance, like they are very independent with what they do, and that's something really amazing about them, right?
Exactly,
Yeah, so Robert is very angry. Like you heard that last part. He was very angry as he claims that Harry and Meghan haven't paid for security. Can you imagine saying Harry and Meghan haven't paid for security in Australia, and that Harry and Meghan being in Australia could lead to a referendum being done on the monarchy? What do you think about this?
Just because William and Kate Moulton get backlash whenever they do these royal tours or whenever they go to another country, that whereby you have the King Charles, the head of state right now, that's because William and Kate face backlash. Doesn't mean that Harry and Meghan will get the same thing.
They haven't.
But they wish they themselves wish that Harry and Meghan will get that negative reception or reaction from the public. And the thing is, that's not what is happening. Instead, we're seeing, the public showering Harry and Meghan with more love, showering Harry and Meghan with more support, and it's making this, individuals even more and more super angry at seeing the love and affection that members of the public have and possess towards Harry and Meghan. They're seeing the love and the warmth that the public are giving Harry and Meghan, and I feel like it's upsetting to many individuals to see Harry and Meghan, winning, doing well in life, excelling in life. They get really upset and angry at seeing that, and that's why you see them throwing all these tantrums because of seeing Harry and Meghan, doing well and living right, and they get upset because they're seeing that. And honestly, to Harry and Meghan, I can say that keep on winning, Harry and Meghan, keep on succeeding. Don't let the naysayers dim your light or undermine you. Harry and Meghan deserve to win. They deserve the best that life has to offer, and they deserve to keep on doing well, regardless of what the naysayers or the haters say. Harry and Meghan deserve to really do well each and every single day of their life for the rest of their lives. And also, he's angry about Harry and Meghan getting security or paying for, or saying that they haven't paid for security. Harry and Meghan have paid for security. And Robert Jobson basically, is angry because in Australia they have gotten security. And that, Harry and Meghan have been welcomed in Australia. With UK media, they don't want to see, Harry and Meghan to feel safe. They want Harry and Meghan to be scared. And that's why, UK media have the audacity to say the most negative things about you. Then they still say, why do you need security? Well, it's bad always hearing that. It's very bad and very painful. Even when you hear Harry's fears for his wife and children, and then someone says you don't need security, it's insulting really. And it shows it because that person doesn't have the best intentions at heart, towards Harry and Meghan, and they're angry because they're seeing Harry and Meghan, doing so well, excelling, living their best lives ever. Harry and Meghan should keep on doing well unapologetically, and they should never ever say sorry for living well or doing well in life. They should keep on pushing forward. And honestly, you don't negotiate with someone who wants to cause you problems or issues. You don't. And Harry and Meghan have every right in the world to have security, and he's angry because in Australia they've been welcomed and they have security. They are safe. They're protected.
They're doing well.
So Robert Jobson, just get over it and stop being angry. You're beginning to become like Prince William, who's always angry.
What is one last word you will want to tell Robert?
Just keep quiet and focus on William and Kate on vacation and just leave Harry and Meghan alone. Robert Jobson, focus on William and Kate and just leave Harry and Meghan alone. Just leave Harry and Meghan alone. No one even is forcing you to watch what's happening in Australia. But I'm sure he's watching and paying every single attention. And also, it is not nothing that someone who is British is complaining that Australians, basically are giving Harry and Meghan security. You're in Britain. You're complaining about the affairs of Australia, how they protect their visitors. You're complaining about that. Do better, Robert Jobson. Do better. Thank you, Winnie.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. This is our joint segment. Hope you have enjoyed. Thank you so much, Brian, for being here. And we look forward to have more segments and keep you updated about the Australian tour, Harry and Meghan.
Please like, share, subscribe, and support our ever-growing family on YouTube. Goodbye and see you later. Thank you so much and goodbye.
Bye.